Today we'll be taking a look at the latest report on what's going on with Billie Kay, Roman Reigns' future plans, fans abandoning Sasha Banks, and more. Don't forget to check out the WWCC Shorts channel for daily shorts over there as well. Let's start things off with the Billie Kay news. Billie Kay has unfortunately been released this week, and this was one of the more shocking releases for the entire list. No one believed it, and you had to do a double take because you didn't even know if this was real or not. But unfortunately, it was. Like we talked about in months past, WWE had no idea what to do with Billie Kay or Peyton Royce after they broke them up. And despite never really having any real direction on Smackdown, Billie Kay has still had this character and this persona on Smackdown that was highly entertaining. She was basically a comedic relief character, but it wasn't one of those annoying comedic characters that you can't stand. She wasn't like that at all. She was actually funny and entertaining, sort of like a R-Truth sort of character. R-Truth is a comedic character. When R-Truth comes on screen, he's must-watch TV because you know he's going to say or do something silly. And Billie Kay was heading down that same route. She was must-watch TV because you didn't know what silly thing she was going to do or say next. And she had this whole thing of running around with her headshot picture that had all of her career accomplishments on it, and she just wanted someone to hire her for a job. That was her whole arc, and it provided a lot of funny interactions and moments. Billie Kay finally gets someone to hire her for her services with Carmella, but then Billie is released a few days later. It was shocking and unexpected to not only the fans, but to the other WWE superstars as well. All of the WWE superstars took to Twitter to post heartwarming goodbyes to their now former co-workers. And it just looked like this recent wave of releases really drained the locker room of some energy, and understandably so. Most of the released superstars were big names that were on TV. Peyton was around here and there, but Billie Kay was probably the most active superstar from the list of released talent. She's been a steady part of SmackDown for months now, and literally just wrestled at WrestleMania. She had a role on WWE's biggest show of the year. So her release really messed up a lot of people's minds. It can really be terrifying for other superstars in the locker room as well, because they can be saying to themselves, they just let go Billie Kay. What's going to happen to me? Am I next? That whole sort of thing. It definitely has to be a wake-up call and just add some paranoia to the entire locker room. Reports claim that Billie Kay was absolutely loved backstage by everyone, but that there was one certain high-up producer that didn't really get her and thought that there was a ceiling for her in WWE. So, did that producer play a role in Billie Kay getting released from the company? We don't know for sure, but it's safe to assume that it likely played some sort of role there. Roman Reigns' successful title defense was a bit of a surprise to many fans. With Edge's entire return arc, Daniel Bryan being randomly included into the match, and other elements around the match, everyone thought this was the perfect setup for Edge to win the title. We even ran a few polls asking about who would win the match, and Edge would always win those polls with a convincing 55 to 60% of the votes. So the majority of fans and viewers were heavily on Edge to win the match. Many thought Edge winning by pinning Daniel Bryan would be a unique way to get the title of Roman Reigns, but extend the feud of Roman vs. Edge. That didn't happen. Roman Reigns straight up pinned both men at the same time, and that was that. So clearly, we're not done yet with Roman Reigns' title reign. It appears that WWE may have a plan for Roman Reigns. Now, saying that line right there, that WWE may have a plan, is an incredibly risky thing to say because most of the time, they don't actually have a plan and don't know where they're going until the last second. But it does appear that there was a reasoning behind Roman retaining the title. Reports claim that WWE could be looking to build up Roman Reigns even more and have a couple of huge matches from returning superstars. The three opponents that are being discussed included The Rock, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar. Three matches that would all be blockbuster main events with heel Roman Reigns. We've seen Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar a few dozen times by now, it feels like, but this new matchup would be different and would feel fresh. How would the new Roman Reigns approach Brock Lesnar? How would Roman feel about facing Paul Heyman's old client? What would Paul Heyman's reaction be, and whose corner would he be standing in? There's a lot of new elements there for this matchup. Same thing goes for John Cena. We've seen Roman vs. John Cena a few years ago in what was supposed to be this big passing the torch story, but it was something about it that felt flat. It didn't get enough time to really build a story, and it just felt off. So if they could revisit that feud, have Roman trash Cena again for being in the past and how he has to get out of the way, and just build on that. Cena vs. Reigns could be even more special this time around. Roman Reigns vs. The Rock has been everyone's most requested match in recent months. Roman Reigns, The Rock, and WWE are rumored to be looking at WrestleMania 39 as a possible date for that matchup. It's been in The Rock's second hometown of Los Angeles, and since he's Hollywood's biggest star, it'll be fitting for him to have one last proper WrestleMania match in LA. So if Roman Reigns stays on top of the WWE and continues this dominant run of what most people are calling the best work of his career, then he can absolutely have some great stories with those three returning superstars. Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar, The Rock, and John Cena would be great matches for WWE. There were some reports and some rumors from fans that were actually at WrestleMania that big groups of fans all walked out of the arena before the Night 1 main event between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. If what these fans are claiming is true, then that's just absolutely awful. How can you really be a wrestling fan, attend the first WWE show with fans in well over a year, and then just walk out on a historic WrestleMania main event matchup? Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair was a magical match and was perfect from start to finish. One of the best matches out of both nights of WrestleMania. Not only the match itself, but the history and everything building up to the match. WrestleMania has been in existence for nearly 40 years, and this was the first time that a women's singles match main evented the show. It was a big moment in WWE history, and wrestling history in general. You would think fans would want to be there to witness it live and in person, but apparently there were some fans that thought they wouldn't miss much if they left early. And they were wrong about that. They missed a very historic matchup. Both women shined in the WrestleMania main event spotlight. Sasha Banks is Sasha Banks. We know who she is and what she brings to the table. One of the greatest superstars of all time. Bianca Belair, we all knew she's coming, and she delivered. Another top WWE superstar that was born at WrestleMania with Bianca Belair. We'll live to see what's next for Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Hopefully WWE finds something for Sasha to do if she's not going to be in the title picture. We know that's the trend in the women's division, that if you're not in the title picture, you're not on TV. So let's hope Sasha still remains a part of Smackdown television. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.